Okay, so just thought I'd do a quick walk around video of my Ducati. So this is a 2008 model. It is a Sport1000 Biposto, which means it's a two-seater. Yes, there's a seat underneath the plastic cowl that does remove. And it has the twin rear mufflers and the twin shocks. There's a small light plane going over in the background, but not much I can do about that. So I bought the bike in 2011, very early, and I am the second owner. And it had done about 3,000 kilometers when I bought it, and now it's done a grand total of 9,500. So it's done relatively low mileage. Now, for those of you that are familiar with these bikes, they don't come out of the factory looking quite like this. All of the modifications that I've done are reversible, and I have kept all of the original components. So it begins at the wheels. So the original wheels that come on these bikes are spoked. They are an aluminium rim with steel spokes, and the chrome spokes do rust very badly. So I've ended up getting a set of forged Marchesini rims. So these aren't the cast ones, these are forged. Now the cast ones you can get from a 749 or a 999, and you know, they fit and they work well, and they're still much lighter than the stock spoked wheels, but they are still quite heavy in comparison to the forged ones. Now the forged ones also have a much thinner spoke, so they give it a very athletic and sporting kind of a look. So it really does. If you look at the rear wheel there, you can just see how much material that there isn't there in the spokes. So it does give them a very muscular kind of a look to the bike. It does change the overall look. It also changes the handling, because it is now very, very quick to turn in, and it really does feel like a much lighter bike to ride when you reduce that unsprung weight. So to fit the wheels, you have to also buy a spacer kit for the rear, which I've done, and you need to change the rear caliper. So the rear caliper is non-compatible, so you need to buy a carrier and a caliper for either a 749 or a 999. They're the same. And because these wheels have a 5-stud sprocket mount, so you need to change your sprockets as well. And I've also changed the gearing. So the stock gearing on these, I believe, is a 15 tooth on the front and a 39 tooth on the rear, which makes them, look, it gives them incredible gas mileage, but the problem is that they're very, very tall, and they're a little bit difficult to take off smoothly in first gear. But so I've gone to a 14 tooth on the front, so I'm down one on the front, and I'm gone to a 41 on the rear. So I've got a lot more drive. Obviously at highway cruising speeds, I'm doing a few more RPM than I normally would, but it really does make the bike feel like a sports bike to ride. It's very, very quick off the throttle. It's very responsive, and yeah, it's a very, very common modification that people do. So that's the wheels and the chain and sprockets. On this side of the bike, I've also changed the clutch slave cylinder for a Oberon. I can't remember the exact bore in terms of millimeters, but it is supposed to reduce the clutch effort at the lever by about 20-odd%, and I can guarantee it does. On the front, I have bought some brand new Olins Forks. So these Olins Forks are, well, one, they're gorgeous, and two, they're fully adjustable. So if you do like to ride your bikes in a sporting kind of a manner, you will find that these stock forks are very, very average. I mean, these are a beautiful bike from new, but the components weren't exactly top shelf. So I have changed the forks out for Olins, and I've also fitted some radially mounted Brembo monoblocks. So these are from, I believe, I'd have to double check, but I think they're from a 1098. But with a set of new pads, and I've got some new lines, And again, the stopping power is just absolutely immense. When you change the front wheel, you will find that the stock brake discs obviously don't work, and I'd have to double check, but I think these discs are from a Multistrada 1200. But again, they were virtually new. There's almost no wear on them, and again, look, the stopping power is way more than what I need. Getting back to some of the cosmetics though, that the other mods, you'll notice that I don't have any obvious indicators or brake lights. So the stock unit on these bikes is actually quite bulky, and what I've done is I've opted for a tail tidy. So this is the Palatov tail tidy, and I've also gone for the Fleeder tail unit. So it's a very minimalist LED. I went for the single strip, and look, it's really inconspicuous, and it helps to highlight the shape and the lines of the bike itself, as opposed to all the wobbly bits hanging off. So I'll just turn the key on. Have a look at those. Like, even looking at the tops of the forks is just gorgeous. So there is the park lights on. So I'll now just turn the indicator on so you can get a look. So that's in daytime, and obviously at night time or even lower light conditions, it's extremely clear to see the lights flashing. Not very obvious in the middle of the day, but it does work really well. And my front indicators have been replaced with some Watsons. I think these are from Canada. So everything on the bike is it's in perfect condition. I mean, the motorcycle's never been dropped or laid down or damaged in any way. You can see the engine cases are nice and clean and crisp and dry. There are no oil leaks. Chain is of course brand new. It's a 520 chain. You can see the plate there. It says it's a 2008 model. These are the stock original mirrors. In some of my photos I do have a set of, not sure what they were, I think that was some sort of Ducati performance mirror, but I don't have those fitted at the moment. Gee, this is a really hard gimbal to use. It just doesn't want to play. I don't know how people make the nice videos. This one isn't one of them. I'll just show you this side of the bike so you can see how original everything is. No damage to the brake lever or the foot pegs. Engine's nice and clean. The oil gets changed every year, even though I don't do any mileage on it, it still gets changed every year. But you can see just how clean everything is, how tidy. And I guess I'll give it a start. Not sure how this is going to work on the microphone, but let's give it a kick. Oh, one of the other things I did was the battery's been replaced. So even though the battery box is still there, I did change the battery just 2 years ago to a lithium-ion battery. So it's one of those low maintenance batteries. Look, it starts really fast. It has a lot more turning capacity, cranking power than the old lead acid batteries, the wet cells. And I've also changed the voltage regulator, which is a common issue on the old Ducatis. The voltage regulators can burn out, and whilst mine never burnt out, it did start to give me some, it didn't work properly, I guess, so I just bought a new solid state item, fitted it, and have never had an issue since. It's working perfectly. So let's give it a quick start. I'm in neutral, yep. Okay, well that's it. Hope you liked the video. Give it a thumbs up if you like it. Thanks for that.